Hello and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planets. You are watching, of course, Daily Dive once again at our new time of 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We are live on 12-ounce Sports via X, YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV. It is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. I am your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. A reminder, subscribe to the 12-ounce Sports YouTube channel where we are monetized and we get recognition and a little bit of mucho dinero for it. But yeah, subscribe to that for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, what happens next? Let's see, what is that? Oh, moving day, basically. I renamed the segment, I forgot. Potential off-season moves for teams that might miss the playoffs. Trust issues. What teams should we be able to trust in week number 21 of the NLL season, the finale? And, of course, fresh fits, the best-dressed players and broadcasters from week number 20. I'll also have an update on the standings of that whole thing. We want to first let you know this show is presented by the ticketing platform at 12ouncesports.com. If you want to experience the National Lacrosse League for even less money than it costs to go to a game, head to 12ouncesports.com and click the Tickets tab. When you do so, you'll see that they offer sports from not just the NLL, but all your favorite sports and all of your favorite music artists, concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12ouncesports. Well, that's a lie. 12ouncesports.com/tickets or click the Tickets tab. That was a really bad start to the show, but we're rocking and rolling. Okay. Let's first get in to this. We're going to get into trust issues, okay? So, I know it's like only Tuesday, but I feel like this was appropriate. I love that emoji, by the way. I don't know why. Is it going to happen? So, this coming up weekend, there are 8 games. Now, I have already made my picks for those games. I will not unveil them until Thursday, probably Friday, actually. So, there's 8 games, like I said. The standings right now, you've got Buffalo Bandits, Saskatchewan Rush, which have not only clinched the playoff spot, they've clinched the home game. Thunderbirds, Warriors, and Nighthawks have all clinched playoff spots. The Rock and the Desert Dogs have been eliminated. Now, there is a group of 7 teams that could potentially make the playoffs. 3 of them will, 4 of them will not. Calgary, Georgia, San Diego, Ottawa, Colorado, Albany, and Philadelphia. Yeah, we got a boatload of teams that are still in the playoff mix. They're all separated by literally 1 game, some 1.5 games if you do the math. So, let's look at the games that these teams have to play. And let's, first of all, kind of tease those a little bit, because remember, it's not Friday. But let's look at Calgary, who has the 6th seed. Now, obviously, 6, 7, and 8 control their own destiny more so than 9, 10, 11, and 12, which we'll get to in a minute. So, Calgary, they've got 2 games this weekend. At Las Vegas, winnable, versus Colorado, also winnable based on the way the Mammoths' offenses look since losing Zed Williams and Eli McLaughlin. I would say, without a doubt, you should be able to trust the Calgary Roughnecks. I would say, like, gun to my head right now, they 95% should make the playoffs. Now, Graham Perro's numbers, I know he's posted them. I don't have them up right now. I probably should have. Great preparation by me. But we should be able to trust Calgary, especially when they have 2 games against teams, like even if they beat Las Vegas, losing to Colorado is not the worst thing in the world. 0-2, most likely not going to happen, but boy, if it did, would all heck break loose. Georgia, who sits in the 7 seed, they have a date with the visiting Buffalo Bandits. I am going to that game in Georgia, in Duluth, outside of Atlanta, this Saturday. I cannot wait to see how the game unfolds because Buffalo already has the 1 seed. So when you look at it from that context, Georgia, you can probably give them like at least like 60% chance. And I'm not saying like they're going to beat Buffalo, but why would Buffalo care to beat you in that game? Not saying they're going to lay down, but we don't know if they're going to rest players because I don't even know if we were in the situation last year where a team going into the last week already had a clinched number 1 spot. Like Buffalo does not care. Maybe they don't want to see Georgia in the first or second round. I don't know. Maybe that'll motivate them to beat this team. But it would be interesting to see how much they have to give. Like if that game is close late, sure, try it. But if it's getting away from Buffalo, I'm not saying Georgia can pull that off, but if it is, Georgia should be able to win that game. And I believe they control their own destiny. Like winning, you're in pretty much for Georgia, despite only having an 8-9 record. But they're the 7 seed despite that record. Public Calgary's at 8-8, just so you know. Next up, San Diego Seals. So Adam Levy, remember I told you about the tweet that was mysteriously deleted yesterday? Well, Adam Levy posted earlier, like a few hours ago, that Chris Riglieri, the goalie for the Seals, who got injured in the last game against Albany, well, in San Diego, he is listed as day-to-day and not week-to-week, like some people may have thought. Now, I'm going to throw this prediction now. This could be wrong, but this seems like an opinion that might not be totally left field. I'm predicting Chris Riglieri is listed as questionable or like leading into the game and is a game time decision. I'm predicting he doesn't play. With that in mind, I think San Diego has like a 40% or less chance to win this game. Listen, Mike Poulin, God bless him, is like 900 years old. Okay, obviously I'm exaggerating, like duh. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but he's not Chris Riglieri. Like Mike Poulin's time in the league has come and gone. And just because I'm going to kick myself if I don't say it, Mike Poulin is 39, okay? He's no Matt Vince. He's no spring chicken, okay? So San Diego's already against the 8 ball, knowing that Riglieri is day-to-day. I don't know if he recovers quick enough based on what it seemed like was the feeling around the game afterwards. Ottawa, they sit also at 8-9. Ottawa has to travel to Saskatchewan. Now, the standings right now would tell you, so Saskatchewan has locked up the number 2 seed. So it doesn't matter if they win or lose this game. I believe that was a situation in Colorado too. I think like enforced they have the number 2 seed. But at home, I'm not saying Thomas Kaiser is a pushover based on what we saw, but Lane Rushcore, Thomas Kaiser, I don't know if Rushcore's still on, but Thomas Kaiser, do we get to see him in the net? Does Frank Scigliano get a rest? I think because of that fact, Ottawa, because of the way Jeff Teat's playing, and the fact that Saskatchewan has a number 2 seed, Ottawa is another team that we should be able to trust. And I'm going to do the could happens on this as we go along. I'll say Calgary at Las Vegas for the sake of argument. I'll say Albany beats San Diego because of what we know about Chris Riglieri or what I'm speculating. I'll say Georgia beats Buffalo, and I'll say Ottawa can beat Saskatchewan. Okay? I'll tell you how we look based on the trust part of this only, not my predictions, but the trust issues part of this. So Ottawa looks like they can get a victory. Colorado, 8-9. I forgot, they're also an 8-9 team. Colorado has to play at Calgary, as we mentioned before. Here's the thing. Colorado's offense the last few games without Zed and without Eli, like Williams and McLaughlin, I'm going to look at their last, like, let's say 3 games. Because I feel like there's been 3 games without those guys. Their offense, 12 at Saskatchewan, 10 versus Buffalo, 6 versus the Rush. Now, it's not just the fact they scored those amount of goals against the Rush. It's how bad they got their butts kicked. It's how bad Buffalo beat them. Now, you could argue, well, Saskatchewan and Buffalo are better. That might be true, but Dylan Ward, I believe, in one of those games had like 48 more saves. Like, the dude could do no wrong, and it meant nothing. So I'm going to say Colorado, based on what we've seen the last 3, even 4 weeks, I'm going to go and give that game to Calgary. And again, this is not my predictions. I'm just saying, who do I think I can trust? Finally, we've got 2 more teams, Albany and Philadelphia. I've already told you, if Albany has to play the Mike Pullen, give me Albany to win that game right now. Again, haven't made my picks yet, but this is where I'm leaning. Philadelphia at Vancouver, guys, it's been a heck of a run. I will 1,000% eat my words. But Vancouver has a potential home playoff game on the line. If they win this game, I believe they actually get one. So I'm going to pencil in Vancouver and penciling in Vancouver for a win, which leaves us Toronto versus Rochester and Toronto versus Halifax. Toronto already has a number 1 pick and maybe more than one draft, as I mentioned yesterday. And Toronto, of course, I believe their pick can get better. I'm going to go with Rochester for that. I'm going to pencil them in for that. And let's see how maybe Halifax beats Toronto. So based on those trust issues, on the could happen, on NLLstats.com, courtesy of Graham Perro, Buffalo retains the 1 seed, obviously, even with a loss. Rush, same thing with the 2 seed. Halifax and Vancouver get a home playoff game. Rochester, Calgary, Ottawa, Georgia make the playoffs. Which means, based on, again, what I just thought about, I thought those were pretty good points by me, Ottawa jumps into the playoffs. San Diego's pushed out. It might be even more crazy than that, but that's what I've got going on. Again, when you break this down, I'm not trying to sway you on your bets or your picks. I have not made mine official. We don't know who's playing this weekend. But based on those little storylines we've got going on, which I think are pretty major, that's what it looks like. Ottawa takes Colorado, which means first round, what would that be? We get a Georgia Buffalo, which that was fun last year. Ottawa Saskatchewan, like holy cow. What a time that would be. Oh, Donovan Lloyd says, I have no trust for Saskatchewan. I can't lie. Well, like I said, especially this week, like based on this week alone, week 21, why would they play anybody? Like they're locked into the 2 seed. Unless, in fact, when I look at the standings, so basically, this would be curious. So Saskatchewan plays Ottawa this weekend, which I just realized. If Ottawa wins and those other games do happen, Ottawa's in and most likely plays Saskatchewan. So that's the caveat you have to think about. Do they want to deal with Jeff Teat? I don't know. That's an interesting thought I just had on my brain. Alrighty, folks, when we come back, we're going to get into moving day. If any of the teams miss the playoffs that have the potential of doing so this weekend, what offseason moves do they need to make? You're watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't. Stay tuned for Fresh Fits later on.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Daily Dive on once again a new start time of 4 o'clock Eastern every day until the remainder of the season, including Pat Gregoire on Thursdays and Adam Levy on Fridays, both of those being live. It is, of course, Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. The time is currently 4:18 in the afternoon if you're on this side of the country, or this, I'll say the world. That just sounds evil. This country. Oh, man. Reminder, a lot of you have, you guys have different ways of engaging with the show. Some of you do comments like Dom and Lloyd, who mentioned during the break, I don't think Ottawa will win a championship, but Jeff T could single-handedly win them a game in the playoffs, which is why Saskatchewan should be careful with who they play this weekend. So, reminder, you guys, a lot of you are on YouTube. I know we just fired back up YouTube. We got Roku, Fire TV, but there's also a safe listening option. And to be fair, I know I advertise it as safe. Listen, if you have your phone sitting down next to you in the car and you're playing YouTube, I'm not going to hurt you. But yeah, just if you want an audio-only podcast version of the show, go to Spotify and search Daily Dive. It's not on Apple. I don't want to deal with Apple. I mean, I have an iPhone, but I don't have a Mac. Regardless of that fact, Spotify, search Daily Dive, and we appreciate all of your support, no matter where it comes from, even if it's on social media. Enough infomercials. Let's now get into this. This will be a fun topic. Moving day. Can you imagine? And it's got Lyle Thompson and Jeff T on the graphic. Don't worry about which one's the female and which one's got a big head. Just worry about what we're going to talk about. So, this topic comes up because as much as we might be able to trust Ottawa against a Saskatchewan backup team, as much as I might be able to trust Buffalo as much as I can trust Georgia against maybe Buffalo, who might be starting everybody in their system besides Dane and Josh and the crew. The question is now, of the teams that might miss the playoffs, what has to happen in the offseason for them to, not just, I would say not even just make the playoffs, but become contenders. So we'll once again go through the standings, okay? Remember, Buffalo, Saskatchewan, Halifax, Vancouver, Rochester are all in. Toronto, Las Vegas, for the sake of conversation, for the sake of time, I'll just say Toronto, Las Vegas, they better hope for some dispersal draft or a rookie draft, hopefully just the rookie draft. But they're obviously hoping for dispersal just in case. Las Vegas, I don't even know what pick they own at this point. So, we're talking about Calgary, Georgia, San Diego, Ottawa, Colorado, Albany, Philadelphia. Calgary, if they somehow go 0-2 this weekend and other chips fall where they may, what is going to happen? What should they do? Here's the first thing you have to address. Let's see, for the sake of argument, and I still don't know if this is all ultimately going to remain to be true. Let's pretend that Nick Rose does go back to Toronto. What is the alternative? Because remember, I believe I was the one. I'll say I was the one. I was one of the ones who said Aiden Walsh is part of the future considerations in that Del Bianco deal. I still think it's absolutely dumb that has to happen. I believe hockey, they do that too. But to me, if you're traded, you're traded. Like if Vancouver wants Del Bianco and the asking price is Aiden Walsh, I don't care if you have Nick Rose yourself. Aiden Walsh should be in Calgary right now, whether he or anybody likes it or not, because that was the deal that was agreed upon based on what we're hearing. So, I'm going to be honest. I think Aiden Walsh could do just fine next year. Now that I look back at the offense in hindsight of Vancouver, does he need to maybe get the ball out of his stick in a quicker time? Sure. But to be fair, Del Bianco is quicker than anybody pushing the ball up the floor as a goalie. And we've heard Kurt Milwaukee piggyback what I said on the show, which was those 2 or 3 seconds do matter down the floor. And Vancouver's offense has been like soaring. That was my awful plane noise. But I think Calgary, the biggest hole is obviously Nick Rose. And then I'll say it again. I may have said this on the show before. I think I have. For some reason, Calgary, despite getting a bunch of people in the stands, they're also like in like kaput with their arena. Not saying it'll happen this offseason, but in a couple off seasons, they might be looking at a new home. And I think that team gets way too much fans. But you know, if they're filling up an NLL barn, just like in Philadelphia, like of course, if the lacrosse barn is filled, you can feel that same thing with like Taylor Swift or Katy Perry. Like I'm just saying, like, it sucks, but that's just the state of the league right now. I'm not saying Calgary doesn't find a new home nearby, but in a couple of years, that's what we're looking at. But this offseason alone, Nick Rose, if he does leave, being replaced by Aiden Walsh, no big deal in my opinion. Also, the potential retirements, not saying I've heard this, but Curtis Dixon and Dane Dobie are not old. Oh, good Lord. Are not young. And Curtis Dixon looks like he's got a bunch left in the tank. Dane Dobie, I'm not sure. Like, he's a battering ram. I'm not sure how much the bull in the china shop wants to keep doing this, especially with a family that he's got at home. So Calgary's got Nick Rose potentially being replaced by Aiden Walsh, and of course the future of Curtis Dixon and Dane Dobie. Georgia Swarm, oh boy. If and when I do go to Georgia this weekend and I say something about this, I'm going to be canned. I mean, who cares? Ed Cuomo. Eddie, Mr. Cuomo, if you missed the playoffs, based on the way your season started, with Brett Thompson, wow, what's in my hair's in my eye, Lord. Jeez. With Brett Thompson, with Lyle Thompson, with Shane Jackson, with Mr. Clutch, Andrew Q, you can't miss the playoffs, man. Even if you lose, you better hope the cards fall where they may. I'm not saying Ed Cuomo's not a good coach because he is. But it's like the new voice in the locker room. Like, maybe it's not Ed Cuomo. Maybe they trade Lyle. I don't know. My point is, you can't keep running it back expecting things to change. Whether that's coaching, whether that's adding a star or trading away a star and rebuilding. Something has to change if Georgia misses the playoffs or even falls short like it's destroyed in round one. But that has to matter. So I believe like something has to change up top if Georgia misses the playoffs. They're in 7th place, which means a loss wouldn't be the worst thing, but it'd be pretty close. San Diego. What's crazy about the Seals is the only reason I thought they weren't as good this year is because Origlieri has not taken that big step I and others thought he would. Now, shame on me, but I do believe next year San Diego could go on a historic run and just take the league by storm. But for me, it's just like offseason for the Seals, which, I mean, literally, their offense is full of young, athletic, talented dudes. And Trevor Baptiste would hopefully be healthy next year for a full season. I mean, guys, it all comes down to Chris Urlieri taking the next 2 steps, and after that, the Seals should be fine. As far as the Georgia Swarm, Spencer Conley says Georgia has way too good of a roster to be this pitiful down the most important stretch of the season. And Spencer, I agree. When I started this show 2 years ago, like in season 1 of Daily Dive, this is season 3, obviously, the Swarm had a game to make the playoffs at the end of the season, and they blew it. Last year, I can't remember. I think what did they do? Missed the playoffs last year? No, they made it and lost to Buffalo in a thriller. But this year, it's like we've got Brett Dawson, we've got this, we've got that. And it's like, well, great. Now we're like, why is there a chance Georgia misses? That's an issue. And like I said with San Diego, it could just be a Urlieri being better as we expect him to be, which I think he will be. Ottawa Black Bears. Guys, this has been a wild season for Ottawa. Listen, I know people, and even I had a Mike overreacts early in the season where I was like, did switching from Long Island to Ottawa change this team? No. What changed this team, at least a little bit, was Zach Higgins over Cameron Dunkerley or name your goalie. But make no mistake, this team is still in danger of missing the playoffs. And, they're in 9th place right now. Mountain Dew is terrible. They have to win, and other things like Calgary has to lose a game or something like that, or Georgia has to lose. So, Ottawa has got Jeff Teat. Wow, that's great. They've got Zach Higgins. Awesome. Guys, I know I blame the offensive coaches, but I feel like another horse, and I know I kept on beating the drum of Jeff Teat needs a co-star. No one seems to care what I say. I'm just saying, if you're not going to get him a sidekick, not saying you need a Josh Byrne, but if the closest thing you've gotten him is Jacob Dunbar, and thank God that's worked out when he has played, they still need something else. God bless Connor Cannon. We love us some Riley O'Connor. They ain't going to cut it, man. So either offensive coaching or should I say, or the Black Bears adding some kind of weapon, because I don't see how Jeff T can score 50 goals every year, and that'll get us in, because it hasn't so far. Colorado, you know what's funny? I don't know what would have to change with the Mammoth. Now, granted, this season, I know I was harping on, by the way, can I just say something? Because now we're on the Colorado thing, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. So many times this hashtag trade ward happens. People swear on to their mothers, I was the one who started that. The only thing I can ever remember saying about trade doing ward is when the Mammoth were struggling in the regular season, year over year. And I believe I even said Pat Coyle should be fired before doing ward. Whatever. I just find it funny how people lump that. I didn't say that. I thought, I think doing ward's great. And granted, there was a season, I believe last year or the year before, where he was kind of, down, not very good. But make no mistake, Dylan Ward has been phenomenal this year. And I don't remember ever, vehemently saying, trade him. That gets lumped back to me on social media. I don't know why. Just saying, maybe I did say that, but I don't remember saying it, super, convincing. So, regardless of that, and let's say Pat Coyle is, the biggest domino to fall here. I don't think that'll happen. I know players trust him too much. I'm not saying that matters to me, but although, before I make my point here about Colorado Mammoth, the Cronkies, the ownership group, just fired Michael Malone and the GM of the Nuggets with literally 4 games left in the NBA season, and they were a 4 seed in the playoffs. Guys, think about how that sounds, and you think Pat Coyle is safe? Interesting. Just an interesting thought process, because remember, these teams are a little bit connected. When the ownership group was there, Pat Coyle is not 1,000% safe if Colorado misses the playoffs. And as a 10 seed, they also have to have a lot go their way instead of just beating a team this weekend. But if I don't fire the coach, what has to change? Maybe not much. I would say what has to happen, is Colorado just needs another year of Will Malcolm and the crew like working together. Because Will Malcolm was supposed to like be some awesome addition to them, and he hasn't stood out like they thought he would. Now maybe that's because the offense is so good. I don't know. But when you have Connor Robinson, Connor Kelly, Zed Williams, Eli McLaughlin when healthy or when available, Will Malcolm and the crew like that, Ryan Lee, that should work. But I don't know. Now, finally, Albany and Philadelphia. Let's going to do this like kind of lump together. Albany, just chemistry. I don't want to blame Glenn Clark yet, even though I don't like the job. I do want to defend Albany's fought back, which is a testament to coaching. Albany, I just feel like they need another year. And now, like, remember when Jack Hanna in year 2 last year was figured out? Not saying anyone thought that, but his rookie year was up here, sophomore, and then like this year he's been amazing despite the Desert Dogs team success. That's how it's going to be with the Firewolves next year. Like Ty Kurtz as a rookie was phenomenal. This year he has been a poop emoji, for lack of a better term, or in a more respectful term. For the Wings, if they don't fold, they gotta get a goalie. Maybe Deacon not as the guy, but I'm shocked at how Nick Damude, even with Mitch DeSnew, and I just find it weird how they haven't been good defensively. I feel like Zach Higgins was not like Zach Higgins is really good, has shown to be awesome. I don't know if he was that much better than Nick Damude. We'll see. All right. When we come back, let's do fresh fits. The best dressed players from week 20 and the best dressed broadcaster. Also, stay tuned for the standings, because I'll explain that in a minute, but stay tuned for us to see who's leading fresh fits and who's going to make the bracket. I'll explain that on the side. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Daily Dive.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME get you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. We appreciate you tuning in to this awesome show. Reminder to go to 12onsports.com/tickets or go to the 12onsports.com website and click the tickets tab, and there you will find the best price on all the tickets. We're about to do fresh fits, and by the way, last season, I don't know if you're new to the show, but last season, I did a brackets where the fans voted on the best dressed player from every team, and they all culminated to one big champion ended up being Joe Resetarits. Now, this season, I've got the leaders, and I cannot wait to unveil who won it this week. Reminder, the best dressed player from all 14 teams will be part of a 14-seeded bracket, with the first 2 seeds getting a bye week. Once the regular season ends, there's no more fresh fits to the playoffs, even though I can still break them down. So, and we're also going to have I'm also going to crown the champion of the broadcasters next week, by the way. So, Spencer Conley says everyone has been all over Christian Del Bianco for good reason. Yes. Rochester's had a great turnaround with Ron Hartley. I agree. That's actually maybe a topic for another day this week. But yeah, Ron Hartley's been amazing, and no one's talked about it. Okay, it's time to get into fresh fits. And here they are. First, starting off with Will Malcolm of the Colorado Mammoth. This is the 4th time Will Malcolm has won the award for the Mammoth, which I believe, so he's locked up the seeding for Colorado. Like, literally, he will be like, I believe, a top 4 seed. And again, you'll see how this works when the bracket comes out. But Will Malcolm, he wears a lot of the same suit, I feel like, but this was a nice, like, navy/aqua blue. Good stuff there from Will Malcolm. I want to make sure I want to save the best ones for last. Here is Albany's winner, and I believe he's almost here. So Andrew Kidd currently has the lead for the Firewolves. I love this Raptors look. I know he plays in Albany. It was a throwback thing, and he went with the Vince Carter era Raptors with the baggy jeans. Yeah, with the baggy jeans and the Air Jordans from like the 2000s. Good stuff for Andrew Kidd. Again, 3rd time he's won it, and back-to-back times for Albany as well. So Dyson Williams is the only other player that could make the list, but Andrew Kidd looks to be in the front running for Fresh Fits winner for the Albany Firewolves, and then the person who represents them. Next up, this was the Las Vegas Desert. I always struggle on that. Las Vegas Desert Dogs. Good Lord. Kyle Killen. Look at this. The 2nd time he's won it, which means him and Landon Kells have the chance to be represented for Las Vegas. Listen, that baby blue. Oh, baby, yes, please. Good stuff from Kyle Killen. Next up, we're going to get to a ho-hum fit, but this is Matt Marinier of the Ottawa Black Bears. If Eric Fennell is the only multiple-time winner of Ottawa this season, so unless someone else can step up this next week, looks like Eric Fennell is their representative. And again, you'll see that when the bracket comes out. But that's that. Next up, the reason I like this is because the tie is kind of does a 2-tone thing. Like, watch this. First is red, now it's gray. Like, what? Unbelievable. All right, next up for Fresh Fits, and stay tuned for the broadcast and the wings. We're going to go with Zach Deacon. So this is a look. Listen, this is for San Diego Seals. I don't know if we're doing the ugly sweaters, my ugly Christmas sweaters early. Zach Deacon, that is a look, man. It reminds me of Joe Resetarits with a Christmas sweater. Because obviously the hat, that's always a Joe Resetarits look right here. But this sweater's a really cool look. I don't know, again, I don't know why he wore that on, April would have been the 12th, maybe? I don't know. But I respect it. So Zach Deacon, and by the way, Matt Wright is the leader right now for the Seals. Next up, we're going to go with a player, this was just a basic fit. This was, I want to say, I believe Zach Kearney of the Toronto Rock. So, first time winner for him. The leader right now for the Rock is Chris Boucher, in case you're wondering. Owen Grant of the Vancouver Warriors. It's funny how nice the meanest defenders in the league look. Like, that is a baby. I know he's young. I say young because I'm 28. That's a baby face, man. Regardless of that, let's look at the fits. This it's just pretty, man. Just a pretty shirt. It does the trick. And for Vancouver, Owen Grant wins it for his first time. Reed Bowering is a 3-time winner, which means no matter what happens in week 21, Reed Bowering is the representative for the Warriors in the seeding. Alrighty, we've now reached the best players for week 20. The first one, listen, Buffalo Bandits always make it tough. I've said that every week. But folks, what if I told you Ian McKay winning it for the second time means if he wins it next week, Dane Smith, Chase Fraser, and Ian McKay could all be fresh fits. And I basically have to choose or get the viewers to choose. Listen, you know how I feel about ankles. It's unbelievable. It's unacceptable. Even though those are some nice suedes or whatever they're called. Again, if you saw this on walk-in, Dane Smith's pink suit was gorgeous. But the contrast of this was phenomenal. Ian McKay, this is an amazing look. I love the plaid khaki suit jacket. I love everything else being dark, like maroon. Incredible stuff there. Now, let's get to the Philadelphia Wings. And I got to say, man, I really wanted to give this to Brandon O'Neill. Even though those are some very, those are high tops, basically, like on the bottom at least. That's probably Brandon O'Neill's best look all season. Oh, he got haircuts. At least for this game, he got a haircut. But for Philadelphia, the reigning champion for the 4th time this year. Oh, come on, guys. Joe Raz, really, man? This guy knows he's incredible. I told you there's his patented mailman look. Just that curved brim. Nice beard working on. Doing his Irish-Scottish. I forgot what he told me he was, but you get it. Congrats to Trevor Terrace again, being Philadelphia's representative and most likely a 1 seed this year. Alrighty, finally, the broadcasters. Now, this one was tough. Scott Gabrielson of the Philadelphia Wings with the nice red, blue, and white striped tie, nice blue suits. But guys, the second time this year, which means he is now officially, well, he's not officially, but he's very close to being nominated for the broadcasters and winning it all. Pat Gregoire with the brown. It took the pudding. It is hard to pull off a brown suit, especially when it's plaid and it's dark brown. Pat Gregoire says, I want to look like a brownie. I'm going to have to ask him if that was a black shirt or a dark, very, very dark brown shirt. I'm assuming it's black. If you just do this, it looks black. But if you do this, it looks like brown and dark brown. Maybe I'm colorblind. But Pat Gregoire, for the second time this year, and possibly winning it for the broadcasters. Great job for him. We cannot wait to send him a gift basket. Okay. Reminder, if you want to dress like they do, not quite, but similar, Joe Terrence wore a beanie from us before. Go to Daily Dive LAX and click the link tree in our social media bio where you can see the shop link that we have, or go to dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com. Again, Joe Terrence wore our beanie. That was cool. I was not expecting that, but that was awesome. You can also check out our social media just for other great stuff as well. Yeah, Kai the goalie, I agree. If Pat Gregoire didn't win, he was going to crash out. Don't crash out, because then people are going to blame me. This kid crashed out because of Mike. It's not true. Even though hashtag trade war might be true. I don't even know how that became a hashtag. That's even better. That's the more funny part about that. Anyways, thanks for all the comments as always. We appreciate you guys. It makes the show more lively, more conversational, which is what we're trying to do here. Trying to make the game not just grow, but try to make the league deserves this kind of stuff. And if I'm not the best guy to do it, so what? I'm the only one doing it right now. So until someone else jumps the gun, I'm the guy. So we appreciate you tuning in, even if sometimes you can't stand me. Alrighty. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place for power rankings and my award races, if I had an awards votes for the final week. I will have a third topic tomorrow as well. This has been Daily Dive. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock once again, 12 Ounce Sports. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and do dress nicely. Bye.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.